scaling video? Where's the power scaling video? Fuck off. It's not coming. I had to record that shit multiple double digits amount of times. I'm not fucking doing it anymore. It's not happening. Hey, what is up, my gaming legion and everybody else who is watching this video? I am your host today, Gaming Legion. You can call me Legion, you can call me Jacob, whichever you prefer. Welcome back. Fuck you, I'm not doing the power scaling video. I literally took me more than 10 tries to record it. I just did it earlier today. The mic was fucked up again for some reason, so I reconfigured some shit and now we're here. I'm gonna hope and pray to fucking God that this is okay. So if you're seeing this right now, that means it's good. But while my name is Gaming Legion and this is primarily a gaming channel, I also like anime, and KPop Demon Hunters classifies, in my book, as an animated movie. And I would classify it as a form of anime. So fuck you, I like the movie. We're talking about it again. This time in actual, like, talking to you video. So, I like the movie. I love this movie, dude. I've watched it multiple times now. I watched it with my mom yesterday while she was here with my parents. So, very happy I got to show her that. But there's so many questions. There's so many questions I have for this goddamn movie. Because, holy shit, did they leave so much out? I'm pretty sure I remember hearing they left about 3 hours of movie out, or they cut 3 hours of movie out. I remember one of the specific scenes was there was supposed to be an aquarium date between Jinu and Rumi. Bitch, why? Well, give it. Give me. Basically, there's a lot that was left unanswered, left for plot holes, and the creators did say that they kind of did this so that they could go and do other movies, TV shows, spin-offs, whatever have you. But just because it's meant to be open-ended doesn't mean I'm not gonna fucking question it. We're gonna question this shit today. So I've got a bunch of stuff that I want to go through in the movie. I rewatched it earlier this morning, 3 in the fucking morning, and I've got a bunch of stuff. And I will tell you, because there are 3 different sections, or 4 different sections I really have for this. I have fun shit, just stuff I want to say. Nitpicks, stuff that it's not really like bad or anything, just it's like those cinema sins nitpicks. I have clarify, like real big questions that I think we need clarifications for. And then I don't have many, but I have critiques, things that I feel like the story could have done better. Because while it is a great movie, it is definitely not perfect. Definitely a 9 out of 10, though. It's very close to perfect. So without further ado, let's get into this thing. So the first one here, a clarification question. How the fuck does the Honmoon work? Is it restricting demons from the world if it's almost golden? How are so many demons still able to break through? I know it's like we didn't see a lot. We saw, you know, those demons at the beginning. We see a few demons every once in a while throughout the movie. We saw the Saja Boys, obviously, but how does it work? Like, we know when the Honmoon turns golden, it's supposed to restrict the demons from coming from their world and coming into the human world. But like, they're supposed to be super close at the beginning of the movie. Literally, they saw flashes of golden at the end of that concert. So how are demons still able to break through? And is it, I guess it's not going to be one of those where it's like the more powerful a demon, the more restricted it is, because like Jinu was able to break through and the other 5 Saja Boys, and maybe I'm, you know, talking on my ass here, but they seem like some of the more powerful demons in the demon world. And throughout the movie, like, you know, as the Saja Boys are becoming bigger and bigger, you know, obviously the Honmoon starts breaking down a little bit, so more demons coming through makes sense at that point. But my question is that how did they not notice that those first demons and the Saja Boys came into the human world? Because it looks like throughout the rest of the movie, every time demons come through, there's like a wave through the Honmoon, that's like that pink wave that happens that like alerts them. But it didn't happen for the demons when they were in the plane, and it didn't happen with the Saja Boys. So is it maybe because the Honmoon is a little more unstable that you're able to see those waves, or they're able to see those waves? Or was it just something that they only started doing halfway through the movie? And also, if Huntrix has been running this scene for 5 years, how is the Honmoon not already fucking gold? Like, dude, they've been running this shit for 5 years, going on 6 before the Saja Boys. Like, and they were able to completely reconstruct, and while not turn it golden, basically make it like pretty blanketed across all of Korea, like in one night. Literally in one night. I'm just a little confused on that. Another clarification question here. How did Huntrix meet? Because we know at the beginning of the movie they stated that the hunters are born with the powers in their songs. You know, they're born with it. But how did they discover that they had this power? And if they did, How did they all know to meet together? I mean, Zoe was over in America. Mira was a rich kid. And I mean, you could kind of say Mira and Rumi would go together because, rich kid meets, idol superstar, or I guess adopted daughter of idol superstar. Like that makes sense. But like, where did Zoe come in then? Just how did that happen? How did they come together? How did they meet? Was it something like a calling or something where it's like, oh, hunters assemble, and they all came together at that fucking tree? What's going on there? All right, this next one is a little bit of a nitpick. I'll be fair. If Zoe is so hard at rapping, and like they showed at the beginning, can we see more of that? Like, obviously, we got to see the rapping on how it's done, and we get like little rap verses throughout the songs and throughout the movie with Zoe and the other members. But like, maybe a little bit more. I mean, Takedown would have been like the perfect song to do that with. I know we in the movie we didn't hear the full version of Takedown, but even in like the two versions that are on Spotify, you don't really get that like hard rap, I'm gonna fucking kill you rapping that they kind of promoted Zoe as having in the beginning of the movie. And I do think part of that was just to be like, oh, she's from America, so she goes really hard in the paint and shit. So it was just kind of like that character establishment. But if you're going to say that that's part of her character, show that it's a little bit more a part of her character, in my opinion. The next up, why is Zoe so hot? All right, the next question, another clarifying one. How does the demon soul sucking work exactly? And I don't mean this in a like sense of, oh, how do they suck the souls out? They just suck the fucking souls out. I mean, I would rather it through the dick, but you know what? They just do it. I don't get a choice in the matter. But I kind of mean, what happens after they take your soul? Because we did see a few where they would take the soul and then the person was standing there. I know the one in the bathhouse, like the first demon we saw sucking the soul out in the bathhouse. We saw another guy, I think he was eating a hot dog or something on the street. Jinu, I think, is a good one where he lost his soul as well, but he was still living in the real world, or in the real world, in the human world. But then there's all these disappearances and stuff, and they're talking about all of that. Why is that happening? Are they getting dragged to the demon world? Are their souls getting sucked out and then they disappear? And that just happens for some people, it happens for others. Like, the people disappearing was a big thing, but not everybody disappeared, at least the ones that we saw on screen. And then going into the next clarifying question, what happens to the people who got spirited away? Did they go to the demon world and become demons? Or did they just fucking die? Or did they just die? Like, they did not clarify that at all. Like, especially that one part where there was like the Saja Boys were really on the rise up until the week until the Idol Awards. And it's just like, oh yeah, people are disappearing. It's tripled in the last 24 hours. We don't know where they went, and we're never going to figure that out. The movie does not establish that. And I'm just like, okay, we're just going to not acknowledge that these people probably are not coming back. Because another thing, too, after Gwi-Ma was dead, we didn't see like any souls go, as far as I'm aware. I don't think we saw any souls go back out. Like, you know how those things, like if somebody, like the bad guy absorbs a bunch of shit and then it explodes out and goes back. And no, it looks like those souls are just gone. So that's fun. Another little fun one here, just because it doesn't really matter, but I think it's fun to think about. How fucking rich is Huntrix? There have been some people joking about it because, like, literally, they've been winning the Idol Awards for the past 5 years alone. They might have been going on more than that. Like, they might have been around for a little bit more. But at least the past 5 years, almost 6, they've won the Idol Awards. They had no qualms about their very luxurious plane getting completely fucking trashed. They had their own Stark Tower, pretty much. And did you see that closet with, like, fucking 10 stacks high, all complete, own mannequin glass shelves just for their outfits? And you could also tie this into how popular they are. I'm pretty sure they just are the #1 K-pop group in South Korea. So that's not really like too far-fetched, because other questions are like, Jesus, they're able to just get a live show going like fucking that, and it's like, yeah, they're the #1 fucking in the world, yeah, they can do that. Another little nitpick here, is that Jinu's normal demon look? Because, like, we saw, obviously, all of the other demons have some fucked up faces or some weird horns or tusks or something weird with them. And then we even saw the other Saja Boys as they were transforming into their pretty boy versions, where some of them had some of those tusks and stuff. Does Jinu also have those tusks, and he's just always been in, like, his pretty boy demon phase? Also, now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't have this before. Why do the other Saja Boys not turn back into those Tusk demons again, and they only go back to their pretty boy demon phase? Just a little confused on that. Next up, why is Jinu so hot? Another clarifying question. How much control does Rumi have over her demon powers and her patterns throughout the story? Because there are some points where we see the patterns go all the way down to her hand and like up to her neck. One very good scene that I can think of is when her and Jinu are singing Free, when they're doing that whole thing. You can literally see their hands go together and she has it all the way down to the back of her hand. But then we go into the next scenes and the Idol Awards, and it's not down there. I think it's like at best down to her forearm, and and the patterns are down to here. Like it's not like going out of control. And don't call me a fucking gooner, but like she has her midriff out, and it's not there during the Idol Awards before the whole freak out. And of course, they're not on her forehead as well. So my question is just like, is she able to control that? Because one theory that I have is that it only really popped up when she was in an agitated state, kind of like a rage form almost, where she would get really anxious or scared or angry, and it would like bubble up and like really activate her demon powers. And then during that freak out, it was just that like her coming to terms with her demon powers, they really exploded out, and now it's just there. But like during Free, she was pretty calm, I would say. I don't know if love is going to be one of those emotions that, like, makes her demon powers go a little crazy, but like, I'm just a little confused by that. And another one that's kind of under this, how fast do these patterns fucking spread? Because back when she was a kid, there was the one flashback when she was a kid, and she had them on her arm, and it was like maybe like shoulder to here. Uh, but then we go a little bit further, and there's another flashback with her and Celine, where she's like maybe a teenager, early 20s or something like that, or like a little bit before where we are in the story now. And it's basically just covering her forearm and maybe a little bit of her shoulder. Fast forward to the story now, and it's basically all over her shoulder, all over her arm, up to her neck and like here. But then again, later it goes all the way over her, and then it doesn't, and then it help. This one is kind of a critique, and the reason this one is a critique is because it's a main part of the story. Like the other ones are like, clarifications, because it doesn't really matter all that much if those get answered or not, and they don't play a huge part into the story. But this one kind of does, and it's, why do the patterns affect her voice? Like this is one that actually I do think needs to be clarified, because like that was a driving part of the first half of the movie, where she would like the demon powers are coming up, they were affecting her throat and affecting her singing. Like it's the entire reason that she had to run out of the live performance for Golden. It's the entire reason they even went to see Dr. Han. It's the entire reason they ran into the Saja Boys in the first place. So I feel like it's just kind of like it pushes the story forward enough that I feel like it needs to be explained, because all we really hear is that like, oh, the patterns are just coming up and they're affecting her vocals. But how are they affecting her vocal cords? Is it some sort of mystical demon power? And I asked this more because it didn't seem like it was really affecting Jinu all that much, or any of the other Saja boys. Like in Jinu's story, he accepted Gwi-Ma's, demon powers so that he could get into the palace, and unless Gwi-Ma just didn't like fuck up his vocal cords for some reason, again needs to clarify. He was able to sing perfectly fine. So why is it affecting Rumi and not him? Why is it affecting Rumi and not the other Saja boys? Maybe, like, you get me? Like I said, it's just it's integral to the story enough that I feel like it needed to be explained better than just, oh, it's fucking up my voice. Okay, how is it fucking up your voice though? And before anybody says it, yes, I know they went to Dr. Han for the tonics and stuff, so we can assume it's the vocal cords. I don't think we can assume that, because they don't know that much about fucking demon powers. There was the entire part between Rumi and Jinu where Rumi was like, or like when they were screaming at each other after the Idol Awards, and Rumi's like, yes, this is how it works. And he's like, how the fuck do you know? You don't know. So just because they went to get the tonics doesn't mean that it's affecting the vocal cords, or at least we don't know that that's the reason. And another critique I want to have here, and I think everybody else has kind of said this, but we need more scenes between Celine and Rumi. We needed some more there, because we only got 3 scenes in the entire movie between Rumi and Celine. We got the little flashback with Celine and young Rumi. We had Celine and Rumi when she, like I said earlier, when she was like a teen or early 20s or whatever, before the movie, talking about how you have to hide your patterns. And then obviously the scene at the tree near the end of the movie. In my opinion, I think you needed to get Celine in there a little bit more so that you could kind of amp up her side of the story, because maybe it was the goal, but right now, from how the movie is portraying it, it seems like Celine is the very negative about all of it. And I know she is. But while I can kind of understand Celine is wanting to just protect Rumi a little bit and not wanting all of that to come out, it comes off a lot more like she just hates like she hates the demon side of Rumi. And I feel like that's not I feel like they weren't trying to go for that. Maybe they were. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making it how I would like to do it, but I would have preferred if they could make it so that Celine's side seemed a little bit more reasonable, because I feel like Celine had a good reason to be a little bit more reasonable. Hey, I love you. I love you, and I accept you for your demon parts, but I want to protect you and not like get you fucked over by the other hunters, the public, and then getting that all out there. But in the movie, it came off as I still hate your demon form. Plus, I feel like more scenes between the two would have been like a little bit more impactful to really drive home their relationship, because again, throughout the movie, it just seems like their whole relationship is kind of like antagonistic towards each other, where they're very standoffish for somebody. We don't know Rumi's exact age, but we can assume that she's probably in her late 20s, and they met when she was like 5 or something. So for at least around 20 years of her life, most of her life, she's been with Celine, but it doesn't feel like there's that like connection there. And in my opinion, it would have made the whole scene with the tree a lot more impactful, in my opinion. Also, after that tree scene, Celine just doesn't show up anymore. And again, that might have been something that got cut out of the final edit, but like we didn't see her come back. We're just kind of, again, it's again kind of reinforcing Celine as kind of like the I hate the demon side of you, and that's not going to change, which I feel like especially after that scene, it would have been good for Celine's character to have her maybe come to the Saja Boys concert and be like, oh, she's finally overcoming it, and well, I can accept your demon powers. I don't know. I wish they did Celine a little bit better, because they hyped her up a little bit in the beginning, like she was going to be a bit of an important character, and then she just kind of wasn't there. All right, and now a clarification that kind of borderlines on a critique, but it's not really. It's more of a clarification. Ruby's mom and Gwi-Ma, or whoever whatever fucking demon she was with, like that's a whole concept they just threw into the movie and did nothing else with it. And I'm like, holy shit, dude, come on. Not only did a human and a demon get together, it was a hunter and a demon that got together. Holy shit, we need to talk about that. Dude, if there's a spinoff, there has gotta be a spinoff or a prequel with Ruby's mom and either Gwi-Ma or whoever the fuck she was with. I'm assuming it's Gwi-Ma, because there was that one point in the movie where he said, there's a girl that bears my mark, and I would assume by my mark that means Gwi-Ma's mark, not the demon mark. But a hunter and the demon lord, demon king, they're doing a little fucking, and you just don't even want to show us any of the fucking. Okay, it's a PG movie. I can understand not wanting to show in the fucking, but like we need a little bit more there, because that is a whole thing that just does not get touched on even close to enough. All right, another clarification question. How does Celine know that the golden Honmoon will actually help Rumi's patterns? Was this in some sort of sacred text? Did a demon tell her this? Like, what? How does she know? Because Rumi is assumed to be like the first and only demon-human hybrid. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they mentioned if the Honmoon was ever turned gold beforehand. So how do they know that turning the Honmoon gold will actually get rid of her or her patterns? How do they know that? And they even call this out in the movie, like I mentioned earlier, when Jinu and Rumi were arguing after the Idol Awards. Jinu's like, how the fuck do you know this? Dude, I've been working with him for 400 years. I haven't heard shit about this. How do you know this? And they don't really give a good anything. It's just like, well, I was told. I need answers. I need answers. All right, another critique here. We needed more time with Mira and Zoey, at least in terms of delving into their characters. Because, yes, this movie was mainly about Rumi and Jinu. Obviously, I feel like if you didn't catch on to that, you did not watch the fucking movie. But like, we got to hear a little bit about Zoe's problems with always wanting to feel accepted, and Mira's issues with like being the black sheep of her family, and then wanting to have that like feeling of a family. And with Mira, we actually get to see it a little bit more. She goes to talk with Rumi, and that whole scene on the train. We do get a little bit more in depth with Mira's character than we do with Zoe's, but like, I feel like we could get a little bit more, especially because at the end of the movie, it was like, you know, those insecurities and those things were the reasons why they got brainwashed by Gwi-Ma for a little bit. You know, Mira's wanting a family, and she's like, well, Rumi just fucking left, and she's a demon. She was lying to us the entire time. My whole family's lying to me. I don't get to have a family. And then Zoe's not able to, you know, keep them together, and that's her feel of like needing to feel like she's helping and being accepted when Mira just fucking didn't accept her right there, and Rumi was lying to her again, and she was like taken over. Like it plays a bit of a part into the movie. I just wish we got more in depth on those. And kind of going off of that, but with the Saja Boys, can we let the Saja Boys be some fucking characters? I mean, literally, other than Jinu, the other fucking Saja Boys are basically side characters for the entire thing, dude. They get like barely any voice lines, which sucks because they have, what is it, Ken Jeong or something? No, Ken Jeong was Bobby. You had Sungwon Cho. Yeah, Sungwon Cho. Dude's a bit of a legend with VAs. Like, you had him as Abby, and he did get a few lines, but like maybe some more. Like, especially when we were in Dr. Han's office, and there's been theories about this, where there was that one picture with the four boys and Dr. Han, and they were all hugging. And there's been a lot of theories that those were the Saja Boys, other than Jinu, of course, before they turned into demons. Like, maybe Jinu brought them into the demon world somehow, or I don't know, they just got in there. But there were four boys that look kind of like the Saja Boys. Like, that would have been some cool ass character development to say, hey, the Saja Boys were real people, and then maybe they wanted to become idols, and this was their way to become idols. Like, maybe they were like failing artists or something, but Jinu was like, hey, demon powers, you could become one of the best boy band groups. All right, we'll do it. We'll sell our soul. And that would have been like a cool little theme on like, you know, how the industry treats these people. Because especially when it comes to idol groups and all of that and the music scene, there's a lot of weird shit in the back, and maybe they just didn't want to do that with this movie, and they didn't want to put that theme in here. That I can understand, but I still think it would have been a really cool theme to throw in. Next up, why can't I just fucking knock into a girl and have some like cheesy K-drama music playing? Like, have a love at first sight moment? Why the fuck can that not happen? Like, did I roll a fucking nat 1? Did I pull the dumb fuck card out of my tarot deck? What's so bad about wanting to have this, and why can I not have this? All right, next up, painted nails. Gay. Okay, maybe this is why I can't have like a cheesy K-drama thing. All right, next up, a bit of a nitpick, but during the Saja Boys' Soda Pop concert, the pop-up one on the street, they were hitting people in the faces with hearts, and they did establish this because Mira grabbed one of the hearts and said they can make real hearts. They were changing the damn color palette of the entire scene and literally created a rising soda can out of the fucking ground. And nobody outside Huntrix was like, that's it's weird. They also teleported out of the fucking place as soon as they were done with the song, My Little Soda Pop, and they teleported out. And nobody's gonna question like, the fuck, where did they go? Nobody's gonna question that. Nobody, not a single soul is like, the fuck is going on here? Because like, if this was at a concert or something, you could understand that a little bit more. And that's why I think like the ending, while yes, they were brainwashed, you could understandably think in the ending, it's like, oh yeah, we're in a concert hall. They might have gotten this prepped. Like when they're flying, they could be on cables and stuff and having all the special effects. You could understand that a little bit more. We were in the middle of the fucking road. Not the road, but we were in the middle of the street. Where the fuck was all this coming from? Another little nitpick here, when Huntrix was going to the Play Games with Us to kill the Saja Boys, and they went into that whole full punk rock mode right there. Why did they only do it once? Like, every other time they go demon hunting, it is always in their, like, everyday clothes. And, like, I know the others are kind of, like, random encounters. They weren't planned like this one was, but, like, they're fucking hot. Can you blame me? All right, the next one I have here is definitely a clarification. How often have Jinu and the Saja Boys gone to the human world before this. I know I said before with the other Saja Boys, there was the whole possibility with them being with Dr. Han, so they might already be from this era. So we can focus more on Jinu with this. But like, Jinu's over 400 years old. He was in ancient Korea. Ancient Korea, Jesus Christ. He was in like 1600s Korea. So how did he get so fucking acclimated to modern day modern day music and dancing and stuff? Bro must have been out there for years, like ever since HUNTR started getting on the scene. He must have started, because holy shit, dude, he had to learn not only how to fucking get acclimated to just regular like K-pop idol culture. He had to learn how to make music with it. He had to learn how to make lyrics for it. He had to learn how to use the instruments for it, I would assume. He had to learn how to do dances for it. He had to learn how to teach other people how to do dances for it, like good choreography. And as far as I'm aware, there's no fucking like K-pop like trainers in the demon world. So Jinu had to do all of this on his own, all self-study. How the fuck did he do all of that? How the fuck did he do all of that? Again, he had to have been doing it at like at the latest from when like HUNTR started getting on the scene. There's no fucking way. All right, next, can I please have a fucking girl like Zoey? Holy shit. Next up, is Abby a fucking lobotomite? Bro was sitting there with his like sketched abs. Bro, he had to have lost a few brain cells. All right, the next critique I do have here is, how did the demons exactly get takedown? I know like during the movie when Mira came to talk to Rumi in her room and Rumi threw all the papers into the trash can, and the tiger saw the papers and was trying to take them. So we assume that's how they got them. But those weren't finished lyrics. One. Two, there was no beat with those lyrics. I assume there was no musical composition there. So how did they get the beat for it? And then how did the two demons that played Mira and Rumi later during the Idol Awards, how did the fuck did they get the choreography for this and learn how to do this? It's just a little confusing how they got takedown and how they got it so perfectly so they could actually get it to go through. And again, that's another one that I a little more clarification definitely needs to be had, because it's like, that is if you couldn't tell by the movie, that's a pretty big fucking like plot point there, is the whole takedown plays. Rumi's fucking patterns get shown, and then the rest of the movie happens because of that moment right there. So like, yeah, buddy, how did they get all that shit? All right, next up, why does that bird keep taking that tiger's goddamn fucking hat? Next up here, Marcelo Zarvos. I apologize if I said that wrong. You know you're allowed to make bad songs, right? You can get a miss. You don't have to come out here and give us fucking bangers every fucking time. It's okay to have one bad one. Bro, first time I heard Free, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm the lobotomite. Maybe I'm the lobotomite. All right, another clarifying question here. Why is it that when Rumi and Jinu are together, they kind of heal each other? Like Rumi's voice gets better, and Jinu isn't hearing Gwi-Ma's voice in his head. Why does that happen? And this could even borderline on critique as well, because, you know, Jinu not hearing Gwi-Ma in his head, that was like a bit of a driving force into Jinu actually wanting to go along with Rumi's plan, because he's like, holy shit, she's with me. This might actually work. I might actually be able to not hear those voices. Maybe I just go with Rumi. Like, it's a bit of a driving force there. So just, again, is it just demon mystical powers, which kind of a cop-out, but it would just be nice to at least have something. All right, next up, another nitpick here. I wanted to see what the fight the Saja Boys had on stage was at the Idol Awards, because we didn't see it, but we know that they had a fight, and that's why HUNTR went on a little bit early. But why was everybody just cool with the fact that they fought, and then right after, they seemed like they were all cool? Like the Idol Awards happened, they fought there, everybody assumed, oh, Saja Boy is a little fucked right now. And then right after, they are up on the screens all together. Hey guys, we're so sorry to hear about the HUNTR breakup. And it's like, buddy, you were just fighting too. What the fuck is going on? Like, I know HUNTR was a bigger deal because that's fucking HUNTR, but Saja Boys were still the fastest growing boy band that year, month, weeks. How much time passed in this movie? Anyways, all right, another nitpick I have. Again, I know the movie is revolving around Rumi and Jinu. I know. And I know Golden is supposed to be talking about Rumi mostly, but holy fuck. Can we let Zoey and Mira have a little bit more than one singular, like, verse for each of them? Like, 2-3 lines for both of them alone. Like, dude, they got so fucking sidelined. Holy shit. Literally during the Idol Awards, they had, like, a good, what was it? Like, 30-40 second section of just Rumi and her going around and doing that. They weren't even on stage. They got off stage. Like, and it wasn't even to go to get the demon. They planned to get off stage. Holy shit, like, dude, come on! Like, earlier in the movie, they said that it's supposed to be the story about them, what they've done, where they are, and where they're going, and yet it's all about Rumi. Again, I know the movie is about Rumi. I know the song is supposed to technically be about Rumi, in, like, for us. But in universe, it's supposed to be about HUNTR, and it's basically just fucking Rumi! Alright, next up, nobody's gonna question that Rumi has LED tattoos, and she yelled and the lights broke. Nobody? Lit. All right. Another nitpick, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, but this kind of goes back into it. Again, are other people able to see these patterns? Because, like, you know, Mira and Zoey, they stripped her off and her arms are exposed, her everything is there, she's freaking out, so her patterns are going up to her forehead, they're going up to her stomach, all of that, they're going up to the back of her hands. Or is everybody able to see those patterns or not? Because if they are not able to see them, then Rumi's freaking out a little bit too much, in my opinion. Like, obviously, it's, you know, Mira and Zoey, and she still thinks that those are her, but I feel like she's also, like, looking around like everybody can see the patterns now, which, if they can't, I think that maybe she's just in her head a little bit too much there. But if they can see the patterns, why was nobody else fucking talking about that? Like, there was, like, nobody talked about, they talked about the breakup and then didn't mention why the fuck does she have tattoos all over herself, including her forehead. Now, look, in America, we are less caring about tattoos on people. Like, we don't see that as a thing. But, like, in most Asian countries, South Korea especially, they are a lot more conservative than America. And while it has been easing up a little bit more over the past few years, dude, they're still pretty conservative. And if an idol, especially a female idol, would have came out and somehow found out they had tattoos all over themselves, not only on their arms, their, like, their upper torso, their stomach, and their forehead, dude, oh my god, I don't even care that it's HUNTR. There would have been riots in the fucking streets, dude. So that's a nitpick I need that might be a clarification. We need to figure out if other people can see these patterns. Another little nitpick, how the fuck did the Saja Boys actually sweep the Idol Awards? Literally every fucking thing, they swept it. Like, first of all, it's the International Idol Awards, which means they are now the #1 in the world with this shit. After, assumingly, a few months of being up and one song, a few months, and they are the #1 in the world. And don't get me wrong, I like Soda Pop, but over Golden? Over Golden? Over Golden? Huh? Like, how do they pick these awards? Is it fan voted? If it is, did that HUNTR breakup go so fucking bad for people that they're like, well, I guess I'm voting for the Saja Boys? What? And if it's not fan voted, again, over Golden? Because you got to think about that. If it wasn't fan voted, a boy band popped up randomly, mind you, randomly popped up, and within a few months toppled the front runners of the entire industry. And what? Over Golden? Next up is another nitpick, and it kind of goes into earlier when I was talking about them just really being, like, showing Celine in a negative light. This is at the scene with the tree. And Rumi is very, very fucking obviously having, like, an identity crisis, mental fucking breakdown right now. She came to you, full fucking demon, her eye is turning, and she's like, dude, I don't know what the fuck to do. Look, you better kill me now, or I'm gonna do some crazy shit. Kill me now, or I'm doing some crazy shit. And Celine is just like, okay, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna keep telling you how fucking much I hate demons, and how you have to keep hiding your real self after you've told me multiple times that you don't want to do that, and you are very clearly unstable right now, but I'm gonna keep telling you why you should be stable, and my thoughts. Dude, Literally, Rumi was just like, she screamed and she's like really go fucking unstable. And Celine is just like continuing, this is why we have to hide it. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, shut up, shut up, shut up. It's not, I want to say gaslighting or instigating, but holy fuck, dude, just shut up. Just hold her, dude. Like, I don't even care if you're lying. I don't, like, at this point, I don't care if you're lying. Fucking gaslight her into thinking that you're actually okay with it. Holy shit. She's crashing out. Dude, she might actually kill you. You don't know. You don't know. I'm just like, why the fuck are you pushing and pushing and pushing more? Just stop. Next up, another clarifying one, because I might be forgetting. Is that tree supposed to be, like, the source of the Honmoon or something? I think I'm forgetting if it is or not. But, like, it's got some symbolic reasoning. And maybe I haven't picked up on it, or I didn't hear it. But why is that tree so significant? Like, if it's the source of the Honmoon, that would make sense. All right, everybody shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. The hairy beasts are playing. All right, this next one is definitely a criticism. Again, people have said this before. What the fuck happened in between Rumi going to the tree and getting to the Saja Boys concert, where she was having a whole ass identity crisis, talking about, I'm going to destroy the Honmoon, and, like, it's good that it's gone. And then she went to the Saja Boys concert and flipped, and it's like, okay, she's okay now. It's like, what the fuck happened here? Like, you cannot convince me that there was not some sort of scene in there where, like, she was going and, like, maybe with the tiger and the bird or something, or maybe reminiscing a little bit. Just some scene where she's, like looking back and thinking on this stuff. Because, again, that was a whole point of the movie, like, a whole theme of the movie throughout this, where Rumi is having to come to terms with who she actually is, what she actually is. But it seems like we kind of skipped over the point where she actually realizes who she is, if you kind of get what I'm saying. Like, she has the mental breakdown part of the tree, but it seems like there should have been another scene there where she actually realizes and comes to terms with who she is. And it just feels like we didn't get that. Or if there wasn't a scene there, which, again, don't gaslight me there, they did it way too quick at that Saja Boys concert, where she's like down in the dumps, and then she's just like, but I can do this. And then she just flips it like that. It's like, that's a little weird. Everybody, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bad bitches are healing the world right now. They are healing the world. And then another clarifying question. Did Jinu's soul get absorbed by Rumi during that? Because we saw that, like, his soul, like, spun around and everything, and that, like, kind of spun around here. And we saw it with Zoey and Mira. Like, everybody else's souls were kind of spiraling around them, powering them up, essentially. So did they absorb their souls? Are they feeding off the power of it and kind of siphoning some of the power to help them? What's going on there? Because if Rumi did absorb Jinu's soul, call it copium. Call it copium. That helps the theory that Jinu can come back in the next movie. I'm just saying. You know, who gives a fuck? The queens are flying! All right, and the final nitpick I have here, and again, I'm going to say this one more time. Rumi has patterns now. Does nobody give a fuck about this? Are they able to see this or not? Like, she just has the patterns now. And maybe this is something kind of like with Sukuna and JJK, where nobody actually can see the tattoos on Sukuna's face, or Itadori's face, when he's in Sukuna form. But we can see them as the viewer, just so that we can establish who's who right now. And maybe that's something they're doing with the movie, sort of, where only hunters and demons can see the tattoos, or the patterns, and nobody else can see them. But again, if other people can see them and they're not acknowledging them, dude, that is the most unrealistic thing about this movie. I know we had a bunch of shit with demons and hunters and all of that. No. The most unrealistic thing about this movie is that if everybody can see those patterns on Rumi, nobody's outraged at that. Again, I said it before, dude. Korea is still very socially conservative when it comes to stuff like tattoos and gender and all that stuff. So, like, if she's coming out here with a bunch of tattoos that people can see, nobody knows about demons either, so it's not like they can just, you know, empathize with that or anything. They're just going to be like, oh, you have a bunch of tattoos now. What the fuck? You know, it would still hit, though. Got a perfectly long cord I can pull on there, too, so, you know, I'm happy. Jinu, go sit in the corner. I'm making a fucking beat!
Splits like she tryna unleash. Got a pentagram, Instagram, Chanel on her feet. She be taking pics and post them while she riding on me. Take a big bitch braiding, I yank on the chain. Make a whole moon red, cross her eyes, it ain't painted. A high note, she throwing up the K to the bunnies doing tricks on the stage. Here's my book, go ahead, take a page, take her down backstage so she can tell me how much she missed the rage. But I mean, we gotta do Zoey first, right? That's obvious. Everybody agrees. Yeah, Zoey's first.
But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching. That's the video. Again, I really love KPop Demon Hunters. I love this movie. I did hear that the next one is hopefully going to be coming out in 2028. Oh, fuck. But you know what? I can wait for it. I will gladly wait for it. And I am very excited. Everything I said in here, again, these are more nitpicks, just stuff for fun. I still like the movie. It's not perfect by any means, but definitely a fun, enjoyable watch. Music was banging. Animation was goated. You cannot complain about that. What do you guys think, though? What did you think about the movie? What did you think about some of these criticisms? Do you have other criticisms that you might have that I didn't mention, or other, things that you would like clarified? Please throw that in the comments down below. Leave a like, subscribe, whatever you can. And time for some promotion time. Did you like that little beat there? Well, if you want to hear more, my boy Benjamin Button Das, Ben Das, he is having an album coming out July 31st. Nothing is everything. And ya boy is on 2 of the songs. Magic to Me and Na 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 in the Optima. That second one being probably the best rap verse I have ever done. So if you're a fan of some rap and psychedelic music, please go check that out. I will leave links down below to his Spotify and his SoundCloud, where he will probably be putting those up. Again, July 31st. Those will be out. And on August 1st, at the showroom at the Zac, Missoula, Montana, 7:30 p.m., GMT? Yeah, GMT. He is going to be having his first live show as well, along with a few other artists. So please, if you're in the area, go check that out. Or he said he is going to be trying to get that onto his Twitch so he can live stream it. So I will leave the link to his Twitch down below. Will be trying to stream that. I will also be trying to stream that if he is able to get it done. And we're going to have a lot of fucking fun with that. Otherwise, streaming. I stream here on the main YouTube channel, on Twitch, Kick, and TikTok, so if you're interested, please come check me out. We're doing a lot of gaming. I don't know when this is going to come out because it's 6 p.m. and I need to be in bed for work in 2 hours, so this might not come out on Monday, but just in case it does, we are playing Sifu on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, we are doing the Callisto Protocol. Thursday and on, we are doing Donkey Kong Bonanza, Shadow Labyrinth. I want to get a run of Ghost of Tsushima, some of The Last of Us, the Silent Hill games before Silent Hill F comes out. I got a lot of games and a very hefty backlog that I want to get through and play through. And I'm doing all of that on stream. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern, whatever the fuck I do. So please come check me out on there if you're interested. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out. I love you guys.
Hello? Anybody home? Anybody home?